My name is Falk and this is Lowcoder. Our aim is to provide you the very best, most modern and versatile application development platform that exists. And so we develop a lot of features. Every some weeks we release and magic functions appearing everywhere. Some of them we really need to describe, and therefore here's our series of tutorial videos so you can access all the value that is already possible and find also the magic hidden functions that are already offered inside of our platform. And now let's start. In the left navigation in this menu, we have this point with the color. Here you can access layout and styling options of the whole app, not the individual component, but the whole application. For example, you could set and apply the theme to an application. This is very powerful. We look someone else into this. It's a lot about to say. Let's focus to these canvas settings that you can have. The very first and important is you can fix the width of the application to predefined classic width that, for example, is relevant for mobile phone or for tablet or for classic laptop screens. So your application will, even if the screen would be bigger, not grow more in width than that what you say here. You can have this also as a custom value up to just a number that you put in, or you can say autofill. Autofill means it will span as much as the screen has the width itself. So when you have applications that should be responsive, we still suggest to have a maximum width of the application because it looks, when you have a big screen, sometimes a bit odd if everything is very long and it's not so good to read. So I think this is a very good possibility to limit it, and frequently my apps are interesting for laptop or even for widescreen. And yeah, if I use build mobile apps, obviously I start already with this phone to have it already small and to see how it will look later on. This is the canvas width. Interesting to make layout and to deal with it, to have more wide or to have more narrow grid in our application, this magnetic grid that you can see as soon as I move here, there is this small grid displayed. And you have an influence how much grid cells vertical and horizontal it has. That means you can set up, for example, 48 grid cells horizontally. And that means that you can more narrow control on which places the app will snap. You see my app now got squeezed a little bit. I don't have more space, but I have more fine snap points where I could orient my app on it. And the same is possible if you set it, let's set it back to 24. The same is possible for the vertical columns. Vertical columns, we also can say how much the individual cell should be have in height. Minimum is 4 pixels to at all set something inside. And you can say that the app should be possible for infinite scroll. That's what we have here. The screen is as long as you have app components under it. Or you can even limit that. You can say, no, my maximum grid count is, let's say, 800. And then you have 800 multiplied by 8 pixels long as an application, when you have only 80. And then you will limit the application screen. The components are still there. They're just actually not accessible. We need to find any mechanism how we can push them, for example, up, or how we allow to do something with these components. Now they are just cut for the moment. We are still developing further on this feature. But when you want to have a fine graded snap grid of this magnetic grid, then you already can make use of these settings here. Let's set this back. And then we have the possibility for the inner padding of this canvas that you see here. This can be set it for 0. And then you see the application components would go exactly to the maximum extension of the canvas. Also, when you embed it, it's quite relevant to have this possibility to have an influence on this canvas padding. you see that we differentiate between horizontal and vertical. So from top and bottom and from left and right, you can set. Next to that, we have possibility to set background color and even background image for the whole application. I'll make it short and very ugly, but it's possible to have this even including the gradient. Could be a radial gradient, linear gradient. You can set the angle of this gradient and how many stop points it has. This one here is very easy. You can just add multiple layers, let's say, of this gradient, for example. Also kind of a simple, just like this as a background color is possible. It must not be a gradient. It can be just a solid color and that's it. The possibility to set background image is also there. So instead of the color itself, you just set your own image, and then you can control, like you know it from the CSS roughly, how this image should be behave. It should repeat one after another. It should not repeat. It should cover the whole, or it should center, and so on and so on. So you have these settings here. And that means that for your app, mobile app, you can have way more influence about the general impression in the back of all the components that you place. We hope you enjoyed these tutorials, and if you like it, please like it. Share it with your colleagues, with partners and other people that may be interested to create apps really fast.